Preventing another tragedy like this will be at the top of investigators' minds as they analyze the data from this mid-air collision. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Lawrence. The dive teams, we've learned, have just ended their search, having recovered all the bodies they can without actually moving the plane. Last night, the American Airlines jet took off from Wichita, Kansas, and was coming in for a landing at Reagan National when the Black Hawk collided with it. Take a look at this map. It'll give you an idea of the layout of the Potomac River, with Virginia on the left, Maryland on the right, and the tip of D.C. right up top. Both aircraft crashed into the river and all 67 people involved were killed. Tonight, we've learned a lot of the passengers were part of a very tight-knit community of ice skaters. We have transportation reporter Janelle Fort at Dallas Love Field. She has some really interesting information about the type of technology that these airports use. And senior political reporter Jason Whiteley is at DFW, where obviously the hub of American Airlines. Jason's been covering the aviation industry for decades now and has information on what we know.
Yeah, Chris, right now, just to keep something in mind here, we don't often report on these airline crashes. This is the safest period for commercial aviation that the nation has ever known, that the world has ever known. That's why this is so rare, what's happened in D.C. Mid-air collisions are even more rare than that. Context to keep in mind as we discuss this here. Let's go ahead and take a live look, though, at our camera overlooking the scene there in Arlington, Virginia, in the Potomac River. We have just received word a few moments ago that the National Transportation Safety Board has recovered the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder from the American Airlines jet. They do not yet have the data recorder from the Black Hawk helicopter, to our understanding. The recorders they do have, though, are on their way right now by car just a few miles away to the National Transportation Safety Board's laboratory there in D.C. Both of these are going to be major clues as investigators try to piece back together exactly what happened. The NTSB said it would have preliminary findings, which is standard in these situations, in about 30 days or so, but tracking down the full cause of this, the entire investigation may take a year or more. For more context, American Airlines is the main airline here at DFW, but it is a dominant player at Reagan National Airport there in D.C., and it has been for more than a decade, ever since that merger with U.S. Airways. American has more flights out of Reagan than any other airline in the United States. Tonight, American CEO who lives here in Dallas, Robert Isom, he is there on the scene along with a what's called a care team. It's a group of employees from American Airlines. These are volunteers who are trained to handle disasters like this, and they respond when these happen. That group and Isom planning to meet with each of the victims' families here in the coming days.